He calls it the posing sauna because he's going to get a little bit more vascular from it.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with an update of the Persian wolf, Hadichoopan. So just because so many people out there they were doubting him and they were all claiming that he was looking a bit behind in terms of his conditioning when he was about 2 weeks out from the Olympia this year. Well, here the man is with another look at his crazy skin texture. So those crazy and trademark chest striations, they are already there, even at 2 weeks out. So Hadi Derek solely working with Hadichoopan this time around. That could be a very dangerous combination. And they are doing things that Hadi has never done before throughout his open bodybuilding career. Sauna, red light therapy, and all of this to make sure that he shows up at his 100%, dry, ripped to the bone, and full as a house come Olympia stage.
He calls it the posing sauna because he's going to get a little bit more vascular from it because he's waiting for the temperature to ramp up and then the red light therapy turns on and then you get the best of both worlds.
So this, along with another sneak peek of Hadi's legs, they kind of suggest that the man is going to be at his all-time best come Olympia this year. And I have to say, he looks considerably bigger compared to previous years. And with all that added size, if he has more detail in his lower back, in the hamstrings and the glutes, if he is wider up top in the upper back, which is something that has been the biggest weakness for him throughout his bodybuilding career, especially in comparison to his front, then that is most probably gonna be the perfect combination of Hadichoopan on the stage. And great to see Hadi Derek sharing this picture of two of the best from Iran, Behrouz and Hadi, who will finally share the same stage after so many years. So considering that Hadichoopan has never been outside of that top two since 2022 and also the most consistent guy in bringing a top-notch condition every single time the man steps on the stage. I mean, he's the most conditioned guy when he shows up off even by his own standards, which was the case last year. And he was still beating Samson Dauda from the conditioning perspective. So if you consider all of these factors and the fact that Hadi is the most fresh he has been in the past couple of years, he is without any shadow of a doubt the biggest threat to Samson Dauda this weekend. So after seeing this 2 weeks out conditioning, do you have your doubts about Hadichoopan, or are they now clear that the man is gonna be on and his trademark conditioning, that is gonna be there? Before you scroll or blink too hard, have you subscribed yet? Please don't make me bring out the emotional blackmail. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. It's free, it's painless, and that makes me look way cooler than I actually am. Next up, we have a 3 days out physique update from the reigning Arnold champion, Derek Lunsford. So, how come we keep on saying that Derek Lunsford loses the abs and thigh shot? Well, it's because he doesn't have the best set of abs, especially on the stage. So what if his abs look like that on the stage? Now for whatever reason, the midsection on Derek, that kind of looked washed out, especially at his last show, the Pittsburgh Pro. But Derek has an awesome 8-pack. So if his abs, they look very detailed and hard, then his abs and thigh, that could turn into one of his strongest shots if his midsection is just as tight as his legs or as his back. And the reason I'm saying that is because the man has some of the thickest and some of the widest lats in the men's open division. So kind of interesting to see that many people are slowly changing their predictions and their take when it comes to Derek as we get closer and closer to the Olympia this year. So the biggest question in regards to Derek that still remains is that whether he will be able to peak the way he did for the Arnold Ohio this year, whether he will come in just as dry, just as hard, but at the same time, full looking quads come Olympia this year. Because with that package, he was able to beat Samson Dauda at the Arnold. At this point, it's safe to say that Derek's quads, they will be big enough for him to have a very well-balanced physique top to bottom. His proportions are gonna be amazing. And even his back poses, they are gonna be a lot better compared to what we saw at the Pittsburgh Pro. So do you guys see a scenario in which we have a similar situation, which we had back in 2022 and 2023, where Hadi and Derek, they pushed Samson Dauda outside of that top 2. And to all the people who keep on talking about Derek's biceps, we have to keep in mind, the man won the Olympia title in 2 different divisions with those same genetics. He won this year's Arnold with those same biceps. So that clearly indicates that the judges, they do not see that as a big problem or as a big weakness on him. Next up, we have a few days out physique update from Good Vito. So this young kid looking super dry and separated, hitting that most muscular shot, which honestly isn't one of his biggest strengths, since he doesn't have the detail, especially on the chest, but him still looking big and full, while in the depletion mode, that tells you that he's gonna show up absolutely massive for his Olympia debut. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Good Vito has only done a total of 3 pro shows throughout his pro career so far, and the man is relatively very young, but all the eyes, they're gonna be on him in the list of those guys who are making their Olympia debut this year, this coming weekend. So there was a considerable margin in terms of improvements for Good Vito and how far he can push in terms of conditioning too, compared to what we saw at the one and the only show that he did this year, the Arnold Brazil, and him showing up with bare side shots and bare overall conditioning come Olympia this year. That could really shock the bodybuilding world, and he could 100% take out some big names this year. Now one can clearly say that he's gonna be top 10 at the very least, just because he has an amazing overall shape, insanely big quads, which are dry and separated front to back, and that more detail that will allow him to create an even better illusion of looking a lot bigger on the stage, a lot wider on the stage. And I 100% believe that this will be a very impactful first Olympia appearance by Good Vito. So this is the reason why Keone Pearson was so reluctant in revealing his weight a few weeks back. So some reports out there suggest that the man is weighing 217 pounds a few days out of the show. And just for the reference, Keone was 201 pounds last year at the Olympia when he won the show in such a dominating fashion. So I believe the man is gonna be 212 pounds on the dot this time around, because there is literally zero margin, zero fat on his physique at the moment. So all that Keone has to do now is lose the water, and the man will be good to go. So it is so unbelievable if we look at the comparison of him hitting that most muscular, because it seems like his shoulders doubled in size, the chest is looking a lot denser, and the same can be said about his arms too. Now I personally think that Keone is gonna get such a positive feedback after winning his third 212 Olympia title that he's gonna switch permanently to the men's open bodybuilding for 2026. And it kind of seems like he's already pushing the weight cap, and if he continues to put on more muscle, more mass, and that too at such a fast pace, it will become such a difficult task for him to come down and make that 212 weight cut off. So 90% of the bodybuilding community, they're calling that physique the best bodybuilder across all the divisions. So I'm gonna say this again, Keone Pearson is about to present something very special. So lastly, we have a picture of Milos Sarcev with the mutant Nick Walker. For the first time during this year's Olympia prep, Nick Walker looks smaller and depleted. So he confirmed that through his stories, that he hit a new low in terms of his weight today. So all of this suggests that his conditioning is gonna be top notch come Olympia this year. And he is well aware of the fact that in order for him to have a fair shot in that top 3, he has to show up with a more streamlined waist, just the way he did earlier this year at the Pittsburgh Pro. And we already know that Nick has got some of the deepest abs in the entire men's open lineup. His quads look very hard, very dry in his last leg workout. So Nick's arrival back into the Olympia, that has to be one of the biggest storyline of this entire year, since this comeback that is happening after 2 years gap, and he won't be satisfied with a top 3 placing. He wants the Olympia title, so that controversial decision that went against him at the Pittsburgh Pro that somehow made Nick Walker one of the fan favorites coming into this year's Men's Open Olympia. So Nick was able to peak perfectly for both the Pittsburgh Pro and the New York Pro. So let's see how this one goes for him. Also hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.